Good morning, John. Now you may have noticed that this video looks a bit different than usual. Well, that's right, I am most definitely not in my usual studio. John, there is a plague that has overtaken our society in our day-to-day lives. One that forces us to act in ways we had never even dreamed of before. Acknowledging the existence of some we would most likely not care about otherwise. That's right, John. Our day and age suffers from no greater disease than love. Now, the ancient Greeks categorized this into 4 different categories, each with their own downfall. First, there was storge. This branch of the disease forces you to love the people you habitat with, and those who once lived with those you currently coexist with. The cousins and grandparents and siblings, they all fall in this category. Yes, with this disease, you are forced to love your crazy pot-smoking uncle who destroyed your childhood Big Wheels tricycle. It even forced you to love your brother only a few hours after he karate chopped your Lego TIE Fighter into oblivion, and then forced you to pretend to enjoy your family dinner. The second branch is the one that most ensnares the teenage population of our planet, Filia. Filia creates cliques or beehives, especially in high school. These are pods of teenagers who have such an undying love for one another it leads to horrible decisions, like dumbing down your brain just to fit in, or fueling the fire of the hypocrisy of whatever being cool is, or even breaking the laws of our country just for fun. Filia is also one of the biggest heartbreaker branches as teenagers are forced to leave behind those that they feel great philia for as they leave high school, abandoning them with great sorrow and distress. And if that wasn't bad enough, John, this branch literally bullies people. That's right, love bullies. For example, when I was in 5th and 6th grade, I was beaten to the ground repeatedly for something completely meaningless by a dynamic duo of torture. These two kids, however, radiated philia, pulling others into their beehive, leading to weeks of endless beatdowns and papers taped to my back and taunting. Why? Well, 1, because I was rooting for the wrong sports team. But 2, because this philia led to a mob-like attitude. To fit in, my classmates felt like they needed to join in the torment just so that they wouldn't be cut off from the philia drip. I know, you're gonna have nightmares about all this, but there's still more. The third branch is known as Eros. Subtly named after the Greek god of love, Eros is the one that allows us to feel romantic love. It's the gut feeling you get when you see that one person, and you want to either run away forever or grab their hand and never let them go depending on the day. It allows us to have unique physical contact and reach a new brainwave of coexistence with a beautiful person that we genuinely care about. However, Eros also reaches into your hearts and shreds it to bits. Over the course of your lifetime, most people will notice multiple people that they find Eros latching itself onto. Hate to break it to you, but most of those people will leave. This creates the feeling we get from philia after leaving our friends behind forever, but hopped up on as many steroids as Lance Armstrong, creating a seemingly never-ending pit of despair. Eros forces us to make the most ridiculous mistakes and do the dumbest possible things in all of possible existence. When we feel this branch of the disease, logical thinking flies out the window as desire enters. We are no longer thinking like men and women, but are instead relying purely on our animal instincts. We are turned to savages, only lusting for physicality and whatever else we can get our hands on to help connect with someone who in the end will most likely break our hearts anyways. Now, the last branch is supposedly the biggest and most powerful, but it's used so little it's hardly worth mentioning. It is known as agape, or an unconditional love for everyone around us. Unprecedented acts of forging kindness and mending everything that our society holds near and dear, from NASCAR to cage fighting to our entire political system, would be rampant. So, John, as a society, we must cull this disease before it destroys us. We must stem the tides of love before we are washed away in a river of faked happiness. John, I'll see you on Tuesday.